Hello, and welcome to another episode of The End of the Search. This one I call it Releasing Without Projecting. What do I mean by that? The human experience is a very dense experience, see? And then all the different kinds of emotions and sensations, it's served to validate this seeming experience. We're not negating the experience nor suppressing anything, but we're seeing through all of it, so at least we can rest in the awareness that I am, that cannot be described. So what do I mean by releasing without projecting? When an emotion, a strong emotion, the mind may want to label it anger, fear, resentment, those are very strong emotions, right? And what happens is that when the emotion comes up, the mind is trying to translate it and immediately is looking for something to project it to. You see? Let's say my partner, I ask her to, we're gonna meet at 6 o'clock for dinner, for example. And all of a sudden it's 6 o'clock, she's not showing up, and you see all this emotion coming up. Well, that emotion is just energy that is expressing through the instrument that means absolutely nothing. But the mind already has an excuse, has a story that is attaching to that emotion, and instead of allowing the emotion to express itself, the mind immediately projects it onto something. You see? The reason why the mind does that is because remember that all that the mind wants is to hold on to the belief that I'm a separate entity. It has nothing to do with my partner. It has nothing to do with this world. It has not even anything to do with me. But as long as I believe that I'm this separate entity, I'll be attaching myself to something. I need stuff to validate me. And all of that, it only serves to hold on to the sense of identity. So, this world, which is a distraction, you could say, it's a projection that is meant to keep the mind distracted with the world of appearances, overlooking the fact that I am. In a dream, when you're in bed and you're dreaming, the purpose of the dream is to distract the mind from the fact that it is in bed, and that's it. Well, we are that which words cannot describe. That's why these videos are not about fixing anything or changing anything in the world of appearances. It's by looking, or to look, how the world of appearances, including the emotions, sensations, thoughts, and everything, are distractions to the fact that I am. You see? So now, in this world of appearances where there's all sorts of emotions and sensations, they can be expressed, but the way that they're healthy expressed is when we don't project it onto anything. Because if I project the emotion onto something, then that something is what I'm going to use to keep holding on to it. You see? Therefore, the emotion cannot be released, cannot continue its path, because it has fixed points, something that is saying that is the cause of my emotion. But when there's simply life observing as it is, then I can see that everything is showing where I am still attached to the dream, meaning attached to the sense of identity. So technically speaking, if I have a relationship, that partner is what I'm using to somehow believe that I'm a separate identity, a separate person, a separate entity. Does that mean that I cannot have relationships? No, I'm not saying that. I am saying that now relationships are seen differently. They have a different purpose. Before was to somehow complete me or make me happy or whatever the case may be. Now they're simply appearances that I can use to look at all the movement that may seem to come up to the surface, look at all that and release the mind from all its attachments. Now, if life wants me to be with that particular person, or whatever relationships I have or whatever, if life wants for that to be there, it will be there no matter what. If life wants that person not to be there, then it won't be there no matter what I do or to try to keep it. So you see, in the end, it's not about the relationship, it's not about the world, it's not about not even the body. It's about being conscious that I am, you see. Resting in the I am, then yeah, all these thoughts, all these feelings, all these sensations will come up to the surface because the mind is trying to hold on to its sense of identity. That's fine, there's not an issue with that. Is that now everything can be seen. See the difference? And now instead of me projecting my emotions onto the appearances, I can appreciate the fact that all the appearances are serving a higher purpose, which is to point to where I still believe that I'm a separate entity, and I'm using those images in order to sustain that false sense of self. So now life is fascinating because emotions will come up, sensations will come up, thoughts will come up, all of that will appear, but now they can be seen, you see? And now the emotions no longer overwhelm me. They're just simply passing clouds, movements of energy, and they can be seen as such. And that's how I can experience a peaceful, relatively very peaceful life in spite of all the emotions, sensations, and everything. All the expectations will fall away, because expectations is what the mind uses to try to control. But there's nothing to control. Life is happening. There's a trust in the unfoldment of life. Whatever this character has to do, will do. Not according to my desires or preferences, but according to life unfoldment. You see? And then everything is welcome. Everything is accepted. Nothing is rejected. Because at the core, I know who or what I am. And this is what these videos are pointing to. When I ask you, don't identify with any thoughts, because thoughts is what defines who I think I am, you see. If you don't identify with any thoughts, what is left? What is left is the space-like. You see, it's just what is. And in that what isness, sensations can come up. But because they are seen as just movements of energy, and the mind is not engaged because it's resting in the what isness that I am, then the emotions will come up. They can feel, you can feel the sensation, you can feel the contraction, but you don't have anything to project it onto, because now you know that I'm never upset for any of the reasons the mind can conjure up with. By the way, that's lesson number 5 from A Course in Miracles. I'm never upset for the reasons I think. Because the mind thinks that it's upset for whatever is happening in the world, when in reality it's upset because it believes to be a separate entity. And now the world of appearances is what the mind uses to justify feelings, sensations, and everything. But what if I rest in the fact that I am? You see? That's the invitation. If you don't identify with the content of the mind, what is left? What is left is what is. I am. You see? And in I am, there's only what is. You can call it peace, you can call it tranquility, but again, those words the mind associate with a particular state. But what if you have a tsunami? What if the mind is going crazy? What if you have a lot of strong sensations? Does that mean that you're no longer being? Does that mean that you are not? No, you're still in the resting in that peace that passes all understanding in the midst of all the movement, because you're not identified with the movement. You're simply seeing. You're resting in where the movement seems to take place. You see? And then life is simple. Life unfolds. You don't need to control it. Life is simply unfolding on its own. I don't have to. Life is breathing this instrument. I'm not trying to breathe. Seeing is happening. I'm not trying to see. Hearing is happening. I'm not trying to hear. Feelings, sensations are happening. I'm not trying to feel them or sense them. If I don't identify with the thoughts that are trying to somehow translate every movement that seems to be taking place in the world of appearances, I rest in peace. You see? I don't have to wait until I quote-unquote die in order to put it on a tombstone. I'm already resting in peace because I am. Not because I know that I am, it's because I am. You can never not be, you see? And in that sense, there's no need to project anything onto anything, because who or what would I be projecting it to? There's nothing out there. In the same way that there's nothing in here. There's no one here, there's no one there. All that there is what is. And life unfolds. And you will live your life as you've been living it up to now. You will still live in your life just the same. But what's going to change is the way you're relating to it, because how you relate to thought is how you relate to life. If you don't let thought distract you, then life cannot distract you, or appearances, if you want to call it that way. Because life is the essence of beingness. And let's put it to the test. Always the test is what's important, it's not the theory. Right now, if you don't identify with the content of the mind, if you don't identify with any thought, what is left? Don't answer me. If you answer me, you went back to the mind. I just want you, I'm pointing to what is. You see? This is it. This is life. And life lived like that then is peace. And yes, appearances may happen. Yeah, it appears that you may say to your partner, you know, hey, well, can we meet at 6 o'clock? And she or he would say yes. And yet, at the same time, in that moment that you heard the partner saying yes, you know that you don't know if that's going to happen or not, and you're okay with that. There's no expectations, nothing, it's just an idea. Hey, let's meet at 6 o'clock. And then 6 o'clock comes up. If you both meet, great. If you don't meet, great too, you see? Because there's no expectation, the mind cannot have anything to justify an emotion and project it onto anything. And you begin to do that with every single aspect of your life. From the moment you wake up in the morning, there's a knowing that I am, and then life unfolds. And whatever I'm feeling is what it is, means nothing. Whatever is happening is what it is, it means nothing. Whatever I'm sensing, whatever, it's just all what is, and means absolutely nothing. And I rest in that, see? And just watch the mystery of this movie unfolding. I don't know what is the next syllable that is going to come out of my mouth. I don't know what is the next thing that is going to be happening with this seeming instrument. I just know that life is unfolding. Life is, you are, I am, and that's all there is. So, anyway, this is the inspiration that came through me. I hope that it served, and as always, may peace permeate the mind so that love can be extended.